Chapter 1 of The Cave in the Mountain. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Cave in the Mountain by Edward Ellis. Chapter 1 A Strange Guide.
Well, if he doesn't beat anyone I ever heard of.
Mickey O'Rooney and Fred Munson were stretched on the Apache blanket, carefully watching the eyes of the wild beast whenever they showed themselves, and had been talking in guarded tones. The Irishman had been silent for several minutes when the lad asked him a question, and received no answer. When the thing was repeated several times, he crawled over to his friend, and, as he expected, found him sound asleep. This was not entirely involuntary upon the part of Mickey. He had shown himself on more than one occasion to be a faithful sentinel when serious danger threatened, but he believed that there was nothing to be feared on the present occasion, and as he was sorely in need of sleep, he concluded to indulge while the opportunity was given him.
"Sleep away, old fellow," said Fred. "You seem to want it so bad that I won't wake you up again."
The boy's curiosity having been thoroughly aroused, all tendency to slumber upon his part had departed, and he determined that if there was any way by which he could profit any by that wolf, he would do it.
"He may hang around here for a day or two," he mused, as he heard the faint tappings upon the sand, "thinking all the time that he'll get a chance to make a meal off of us. So he will, if we don't keep a bright lookout. It seems to me that he might be driven out."
The more he reflected upon this suggestion of his own, the more reasonable did it become. His plan was to drive out the wolf, to compel him to show up, as a card player might say. Considering the dread which all wild animals have of fire, the plan was simple and would have occurred to anyone.
"The campfire seems to be all out, but there must be some embers under the ashes. Mickey threw down his torch somewhere near here."
Carefully raking off the ashes with a stick, he found plenty of coals beneath. These were brought together, and some of the twigs laid over, the heat causing them at once to burst into a crackling flame. This speedily radiated enough light for his purpose, which was simply to find one of those fat pieces of pine which make the best kind of torches. A few minutes' search brought forth the one he needed, and then, shoving his revolver down in his belt, he was ready. The light revealed the large, beautiful Apache blanket stretched out upon the ground, while the Irishman lay half upon it and half upon the earth, sleeping as soundly as if in his bed at home. Beyond him and in every direction was the blackness of night. But looking to his right, he discovered the two eyes staring at him and glowing like balls of fire. The animal was evidently puzzled at the sight before him. Fred dreaded a shot from the Indians above, and as soon as he had his torch ready and had taken all his bearings, he drew the ashes over the sputtering flame. Save for the torch, all was again wrapped in impenetrable gloom. The glowing orbs were still discernible, and holding the smoking torch above his head, Fred began moving slowly toward them. The animal did not stir until the lad was within 20 feet, when the latter concluded that it would be a good thing for him also to take a rest.
"Wonder if he's been trained not to be afraid of torches," mused the little fellow. "I hope he hasn't, and I hope, too, there won't be any trouble in scaring him."
The lad dreaded another possibility, that his torch might be suddenly extinguished. If that should go out, leaving them in utter darkness, the wolf would immediately rise to a superior plane and speedily demonstrate who was master of the situation. Fred swung the torch several times around his head until it was fanned into a bright flame, after which he resumed his advance upon his foe. At the very first step, the beast vanished. He had wheeled about and made off in a twinkling. The lad pressed onward at the same deliberate gait, watching carefully for the reappearance.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?